Okay, so now let's look at the file. What's the name of the file? Is N21 trainee. Okay, so at this point, now you see import data source as a new table. That's what we want. So I'm going to click on OK. Now you see why I said you need to have two devices. You cannot split your screen at this point. It's not possible.
Sir, please, can you repeat what you did?
Are you using a two device?
Yes.
I haven't done anything
Sir,
here.
sorry, I have a question.
Yes.
Is my code page supposed to be OEM or DOS?
We have not gotten to that place. So yeah, you are fast. It's Windows.
No, as per
Windows. European. Western European
Western
Windows.
European DOS. Okay.
Windows, not DOS.
Oh,
Windows.
Windows. But sir, in the last class you said DOS.
DOS is this operating system now. DOS, Windows, but I prefer Windows. I think Windows is, because now you're using Windows. I think Windows, we have for Mac also. So I think Windows is better, is preferable. Yeah.
So I don't be changing no. Okay.
All right. So delimited, right? Enola, are you at this point now? Okay. So next.
Sir, please, can you go back to where you were looking for the folder?
You looking for the folder is my own business now. You did not save it as my own. My own folder is in my own laptop. So you look for it in your own laptop.
And you'll just open, like press browse and look for it where you saved it.
Don't do that. Oh, don't look for browse. That is why I said create. See, people will mess. You are going to have some issues with database. Oh. You are meant to create a folder, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like,
if you create the folder and you put the source file and the question paper there, you see it. It's easy peasy.
Yes, now, but to get there, don't you have to press browse that is there?
Oh, okay. Oh, are you talking about yes? Then you press browse. And then, like, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Eniola, I think it's gone off. I think that device is here. Okay, so click on browse, like Georgia said, and then locate the file, right? So just locate the file. Click on browse and locate the file. All right. So the first row contains feed name. Next, we're not skipping any field, so it's fine. Next. Now, at this point, I'm going to click on advanced. Now,
So
just a bit of.
They said we should choose
Yes.
our primary key.
You choose it now.
Okay.
Now, just a bit of a warning. You can actually do this in any of the steps, right? You can do it in the first one, which is the advanced, second advanced, third advanced. It is the same thing. So I'm going to click on the advanced here. Okay, you can leave it in DOS, but I prefer Windows. Okay. DMY, it's fine. Now I'm going to check the question.
You said we can leave it in DOS.
Yes, but I prefer Windows. It's still going to work for DOS. So they're not going to ask you a screenshot. They don't need all that. It's just your configuration. But since you're using Windows, I think it's wise to just make it Windows. It's an operating system. What the person is not Windows. You can use Windows. If you want to live in DOS, it's fine, right? You're not going to be penalized for that, right? It should not affect your work. But I think Windows is fine. Okay, then family name to training number is text. Okay, I think I'm just gonna move this here. This is short text. Okay, birth dates, and of course his DMY. Gender to training provider. It's short text. So we're not changing anything here. Everything's okay. Right? So normally we usually change Boolean, but everything is fine here. Now they said set the training number field as what? A primary key. So training number, so I'm going to choose my own primary key and I'm going to click on training number here, or the drop down and you choose training number. So there are different ways to choose a primary key in Access. One good thing I like about Access is that there are different ways to do a lot of things, different ways to navigate to get what you want. Yes, Eniola?
So instead of mine to show training number, it's showing field 3.
You see the problem? Now, I can be so sure to tell you that you did not check this to contain field names. And when you don't check it, it's going to show field 1, field 2, field 3. Okay, so that's why that's why it's showing that. All right. Okay, so next, and then finish. Don't save any import step. Don't save it. Just close. And then we have this. I'm just going to click here to select all and then double click on it. Now, please, what I'm showing you now, you will need it for spreadsheet paper 3. So it's not when I go to paper 3, you will now say, sir, how are you doing this? And I've showed you in database to ensure that all the fields are showing. Endeavor to click between where you have your field name and your records. In spreadsheet, we'll be calling it column and row.
So you double clicked, but then if I double click, the thing is not like opening.
What are you double click? I don't double click how? I don't understand.
So you highlighted it and then you double clicked. Now is that not what you did?
I highlighted it there in between the fields here and here. It's going to change to a course. I double click.
Oh, okay.
And once I double click, you can see all the records are clear. That's the whole purpose. So that nothing, so you will not be having something like this. If you have anything like this, let's say for example, you're having this, it's 0, it's error. They'll mark you down. Because there is no way brick what is brick? They can't see anything here. And that's why I said click here, double click so that they can see everything here. Right? All right. So that just, and then you save, and then you close. Okay. Now the next one is evidence 4. Place in your evidence document a screenshot showing the primary key, field names, and data types in the table. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to this. They have changed this now. You know, Cambridge, they don't like giving students simple things. They feel like this is too simple. Like they are too clear with it. So everybody gets it. So now they will say, take a screenshot of the data structure. I have taught you data structure. So nobody should see that kind of question and say, sir, I don't understand what data structure. I have taught you data structure in chapter 7, system life cycle. Talking about what data structure is all about. It's the same thing with going to design view. Yes, it's all about design view. Under there, you see your field names, primary key, and data types. That's data structure. Okay, so most time you see, they will tell you, take a screenshot of the data structure. They will not talk about primary keys, field names. It's the same thing. So please, when you see something like that, don't panic. What is this? What are they trying to say? Mr. Ajiro has taught you. It's just that they're just using words on you. It's simple English. They're just using English language on you. You know, but Now you know better. When you see it, you know, okay, I know what these guys are doing. You know. So the next thing we're going to do now is I'm going to switch this to what? Design view. Now, like I said, there are so many ways to go to design view. At first, you have only two views: datasheet view and what? Design view. So I can right click here and go to what? Design view. You can choose to click here, open the table, open it, click on home, and switch to what? Design view. Whichever one. There's so many ways to get this done. So many, right? So I'm going to design view. Now I want to take a screenshot of this. Okay, so snippet tool to the rescue every time. Back then when I was teaching my students, I think we're using Windows 8. There was no snipping tool. The snipping tool was, in fact, I have not even know, we take the normal screenshot until I discovered snipping tool. I'm like, okay, you know, back then the snipping tool you have to put names, so it's your own time is better. Back then you take screenshots, copy it, and before you paste it, you know, use Word, you paste it in Word, copy it, and then put it back. It was not easy. You know, now your time is just you snipping to take a screenshot, paste. Well, you're done. Should be thanking God though for technology. All right, so click on new, right? And then I want to take this. Okay. Evidence document 4. Then right click, just paste. Now I want to talk about something else. Most of you are in the habit of your screenshot must be with your header. I want to repeat this again. If they said evidence 4 here, the screenshot must be together with the title. It is not evidence 4 here and your screenshot is here. Lie. Or evidence 4 is in one page and your screenshot is in the next page. See, if that mark is 1 mark, you have 0, they're not going to mark it. There's no, they will look at the evidence. No evidence 4. There's no evidence 4. Now, the funny thing is that you will not be there when they are marking it. You will not even know the country that is marking your script. So you will not even know you will not even know the kind of prayer to pray. You will not know who to swear to, what country to swear for. You cannot be swearing for all the country now. There are too many. So please, to avoid all those kind of prayer every morning, oh Lord, England, UK, Wales, Scotland, whoever is marking my script. No. So please ensure. So if it's cutting, if it's going to the next page, bring the header to that next page. Please, it's very important. Okay. I think this point is clear. But should you choose to adjust it, since it's vertical, click on picture format while maintaining aspect ratio right here. Right? You can increase it. Let me make it 11. Now, most of you have started doing this thing I complained about. You'll be adjusting your work like this and be doing something like this. I've told you, what is this? That's what most of you did for me in document production. Why? What's this? I've warned you about this. Don't tamper with your screenshots. Leave it the way they are. While maintaining aspect ratio, use the size group to resize your work. Don't distort your image. I've been preaching this, but it's disheartening to see that some students, not most, some are still not keeping or adhering to that instruction that is given by the teacher. You keep doing what will not give you mark. So I don't know. Do you enjoy it? So please, let's avoid it. Right? Let's avoid it. Okay, I'm going to undo my work because this is wrong, right? So I'm going to undo it. And leave it to where it is, right? Okay. Let's move to the next one. You can see that database takes time to explain. Not to do, to explain. That's why you have to practice. All right. And that was how many marks? No mark, no mark, no mark yet. No mark yet, too. Before the next one, I'm going to close. Okay, so external data, new data source, from file, text file. Now it's going to show 3. One is to append, the other is to link. Don't do link, just leave it at a new table. Because if you check the question, you have to create as what? They know why they are saying new table. Because some students can append, can overwrite it. They say no, as a new table. The first one, there's no issue. They don't need to say new table because automatically it will create as a new table. But when you are putting other ones, it has to be a new table. Right? Okay, I will browse. Now at this point, it should be in your folder, right? Results. I have my result here. Open. Okay. Okay. I've explained the reason why they are is delimited because each of the values are separated with comma. Next. So the next thing we're going to do is, so Bukumi, what's the next thing we're going to do? Oluwa Bukumi, Owolabi, Owolabi, yes, Owolabi, yeah. So what's the next thing we're going to do? I apologize if I'm not pronouncing it well. Right, so what's the next thing we're going to do? Bukumi, are you there? Okay, your mic is not working. Okay, so what's the next thing we're going to do? Type it for me. Type it in the chat. What's the next thing we're going to do? I'm waiting. Click on next. And you're like, that correct? She said we should click on next.
No, sir.
So what's the right thing?
I'm meant to click first row contains field names.
Thank you very much. So first row contain field name. So Bukumi, hope you've been able to see that. Okay. I'll click on next. We're not skipping any field. So next. So at this point, I'm going to click on advanced. You can leave it indoors, like I said, but let me put it in Windows. Feed name. Okay, we have a lot of dicks here. Okay, let's see what we can do. Test date, start time, duration is date and time. Test date, start time, duration, fine, it's okay. Test day, subject, student ID, test type, text. Including results. Let me see. Is that true? Yes, that's correct. Then the numbers are test version. What version of the test? Is it receipt or we receipt, or we. Oh my God. uh, Mark achieved, total marks, pass mark. Okay, long integers. Everything is correct. Just that we will need to modify this in the design view. That when you see format, it means design view. This will mean design view. This we can do here are this. This we can do design view are here, right? Where the cursor is moving up and down. This place right here. Okay. So I'll click on OK. The question says what? Do not set a primary key. So I'll click on no primary key. Okay. Next. Finish. Close. Now, the reason why I recommended Microsoft Access to my learners is you can use MySQL to do it too, when you code. You can use Oracle to do it, but you code though. So Access is easier. It's front end. You're not really coding too much, so that makes it easier. Okay, now so I'm going to go to now. The next I want to do now is to go to design view. So before I go to design view, let me do this. No, that's training. Let me close it. That's for training. Let me open the result. Yes, Nico. Nico, I can hear you. Okay, maybe she just raised up her hand because she just want to raise up her hand. Okay, I can see that you're raising up your hand. Nice. You can lower down your hand now. I've seen you in class, right? I've seen you in class. All right. Okay, so like the next thing now we know, right? Yeah, Nico, I can hear you. Oh, okay. I can't hear that you are talking, but I can read the comments that states, "Can you hear me?" So I can read you, but I can't hear you. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm going to click here. Now, by this, you know what I've done. If it's okay to have 3 fields, 3 fields, how? 3 fields, I don't understand. 3 fields, how? Madam, there's an error. If it show you something, if it show you an error report, there's an error. So what you will do is start again. There's something you have missed. That's why it's giving that error report. Right? So start again. If it gives you that error report without you saving that import, there's an error. Some fields are missing. Some fields are missing. So whenever I see that report, it means some fields are missing. So obviously your database is not going to be complete. So you have to start again. Import that record. When I mean start again, means import that table again. Yes. So I'm going to double click. So everything is showing, right? I can see everything now, looking good. Now I can save. And then right click, close. Or you can use your own method, the one I taught you, and go to design view. Me, I like closing it and go to design view. So whichever one, right? I can open it and click on home and switch to design view. It's the same thing. I can decide to close it right here and go to design view. All road leads to the same place. It's the same thing. right? It's the same thing. Now, most of you are wondering, why is my header like this? The reason why it's like this is because I'm using, obviously, my laptop is 14-inch. Okay. For those whose laptops are 13.5, obviously, you're going to have similar issues like mine. So what I do is I do show tabs only. If your system is large enough, you can do always show ribbon, right? But you can see now. Can you see all the fields are? And when you are taking screenshots, you must take one screenshot. Or if you are taking them half, if you are taking them, if you are cutting it, you have to join them. You have to group them, and that's stressful. Me, I don't like stress. You have to group them. So, but me, I don't want you guys to go through that stress. You're already stressed enough, right? Your ICT teacher is stressing you too much. I don't want you guys to go through yet another stress. Okay. So what I will do is I'm going to click here, this ribbon display option, and I'm going to click on show tabs only. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do now is I want to take a screenshot of this. But before I do that, right?
So wait, what are you screenshotting? I don't understand. Are we not supposed to change that thing to HHMM?
Yeah, let me finish now. I'm not done now.
Wait, are we supposed to take a screenshot?
No, I'm not done. Let me finish.
Okay.
So the next thing I'm going to do now is test date. MMM YY. Right? So it's going to be test date. Oh, it's right here. So whether it's here, you are clicking here or clicking here, all would lead to the same thing, right? So I'm under format. I'm going to switch to this kind of, this is the kind of data they want, right? Because if you look at it, they give you a sample how it's going to look like. Okay, so that's one. The next one is start time, and it's going to be HH.
So mine didn't show that drop down thing that yours showed.
Now, if your own is not showing this drop down, if you click on it, it's not showing, it's because your access is not activated.
What do you mean?
Now, when you click on this, it's meant to have a drop down here. If it's not having it.
Okay, it has. Sorry. So what should I press? What did you click? Sorry.
It's right in there. You're looking at it now.
Date, month, yeah.
Look at my format. Look at my format. They said format now. The question is format. They have given you they give you a hint, so you do it in format.
Oh, medium dates. Okay.
The next thing is start time, which is date and time.
So, but why is it medium dates?
Look at the question.
Why isn't it short date on the other one?
It cannot be short date. Now, sure, you can see the sample of the question.
It shows date or time now.
Example is what? You can do your own, no, but you will not get the mark because then again, they're the one that is marking your script.
But I just want to know why it is medium
it's medium date. It's medium date in access to get this.
Oh, okay.
But in Oracle, it's not medium date. So there's a difference. Every program, every software have their own terminologies. It's their products. They can name whatever they want to name it. You cannot fight them. You have to work with what they have, right? Okay. So the next one is start time, which is HH:MM. So I'm going to click on the date and time. Please mute your mic, ma. Right. So I have HH:MM. Okay. You don't have to click anything. Just leave it. It's going to save automatically. Then the next one is duration. And duration is what? HH:MM. So I will click on data type or duration. Under the format, I will click HH colon MM. I'm going to type it. Okay. Which other one are we doing again? Okay, that's all. So once you are done with that, I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to switch to datasheet view. And you see it like this. So this duration, this start time. Okay. Duration and start time. That's what they want. Duration and the start time. Okay, so I can close this. Place your evidence document. Screenshot showing the field name, data types used in the table. Okay, please don't forget. I'm going to switch to design view. I'm going to design view. Don't forget that you must include your table name. They will not say it in the question. No. You see, these Cambridge people, there's a lot of things they will not say in the question. Fall into their trap. You want to have a star, fall into their trap. They'll move mark. Those are the things they use in getting students.
So, but why do you have to show the table name?
If you don't show the table name, how would they know the table this belongs to? All these field name and data types. They can't guess. They know the name, but as teachers, we cannot guess because it's against the marking, the principle, the 6 marking principles, which is assumption must not be taken when marking a learner's script. It's one of the principles. So we cannot assume. We must mark it based on what it is. So that's why it's important. Show it so they would, oh, this is the table, these are the fields, these are the data types, and these are the key. They omitted it intentionally. Okay? All right. So to do that, I'm going to take my snipping tool, new. Okay. Evidence 5. So right here, right click. Now keep source formatting. I'm going to do keep source formatting, not picture. Don't put that. I'll keep source formatting. So I have it like this. I can click on picture format to make it 11, to make the width 11, and that will also affect the height, 11 centimeter. I think that's what I did for this as well. So it will be aligned. You might not do it. It's clear already. It's just me and me doing a little bit of ITK.
Perfection.
All right. But see, the thing is, if you're going to have an A-star and learners award in ICT, perfection is everything. They should see your work and just give you everything. That's the only way you can have learners award in ICT. Perfection. Yeah. A-star, the same thing. You want to have an A-star. Okay. The same thing. Okay. I'm going to close it. The next one is question 18. And your hand is raised up. Talk to me. Is it by mistake? Oh, okay, sister, don't worry. Oh, it's fine. All right. So create a one-to-many relationship between trainee number in the training table and student ID in the result table. All right, those grammar looks so big right now. So one step at a time, right? I know. So I'm going to click on database tools, and then I'm going to click on relationships. Now, what makes relationships possible in database? Kukoi. What makes it possible? What makes relationships possible in?
Like 3 links. Like 3. What's it called?
Who can help her? True what? What makes relationship possible in database? These are questions they ask in theory. Don't forget, database also has theory questions. It has theory questions.
So it's like connections between key fields.
Yeah, keys, right?
Like into your more table.
So keys, and we have two types of keys according to the syllabus. We have a lot in computer science. We have more. If I computer science, we have candidate keys. Okay. We also have another one. Forgotten that one. I think there are 4 in total. But for ICT, we have just 2, which are what are what? What are the 2 keys? In creating a relationship, what are the 2 keys? Who can
Primary
help us?
key and foreign key.
Yes, primary key and foreign key. Okay. Now, which one is which of the keys is that? Which one helps in creating a relationship?
Is it not foreign?
Sorry.
Which one helps in creating a relationship? Which of the keys help in creating a relationship? George, you were
Is it
saying
not
something.
foreign?
Yes, foreign key. Right? The foreign key. All right. So just to run it by you guys to see how well you're getting the concept of it. Okay. Now I'm going to select the 2 of them. I hold my control on my keyboard, by the way, or you can just double click. Double click on one, double click on the other one, it will work. There are so many ways to do it, right? You can click on add selected tables, or
Ajiro,
yes.
please, in which table did you create the relationship? Which one? Results or trainee?
We have not created a relationship yet now.
I mean, like, in which table did you open the relationship?
We are just starting a relationship now. The 2 of them, you have to
Like,
bring in all the relationship.
let me show you what I mean, because you don't understand. I don't know how to explain, but you opened. It looks like you opened the relationship in results. Like, as well, in which table did you open it?
I opened the results table and the training table.
Wait. See what I'm talking about? Is it this one or this one? Like, as well, to open relationship.
Okay, I know what you're talking about now. You are asking of which of the menu do we go to create the relationship?
Yes,
You will
yes,
see
yes.
it in database tools. Database tools, and then you see relationships.
Okay.
Okay, now the next thing we're going to do now is I want everything to show. So I'm going to just double click, right? Double click here, and we have all this. Okay. All right. Now I cannot come back to the question because that question was looking somehow, right? The information were too much. I know that database for you. So 1 step at a time. That's the goal, right? So create a one-to-many relationship between training number in the training table. So training number in the training table becomes the primary key. Do you see the way we break it down? Then student ID in the result table. right, becomes the foreign key. I come again. Most time, we say that the foreign key is the primary key in another table. Most time they may be identical, most time they may not, but they have similarities. So training number is the primary key. Let me show what I'm talking about. Student ID here to training number. So the training number is the primary key, and the student ID becomes the foreign key. So I'm going to move this like this. Foreign key come like this. Primary key come like this. Move like this. Stay like this. So I will not drag it. Training number to what? Student ID. Now at this point, you see that there's training number in the training number field to the training table, student ID field to what?
Please, can you repeat that? Sorry.
Okay. Now let's look at the question. It says that create a one-to-many relationship. The relationship type, they can bring that question in theory. The relationship type for database is one-to-many in IGCSE ICT. It's one-to-many. Okay? So between training number in the training table and student ID in the result table. Now, this means that right here in the training number, which is the primary key, I'm going to drag it down to student ID, which is the foreign key. Like this. And once you do that, your relationship type is going to be what? One-to-many. Okay? Then I'm going to click on create. It has been created. Drag it anyhow, play with it a bit. Tom and Jerry. Okay. All right. All right. So we have this, right? Now, probably I can just put it center or something. It's fine. Okay. Now we have done this. Now we want to take a screenshot. We have not taken a screenshot. What we have done is that's not what they want. We have not taken a screenshot that they will see and mark. Oh. Now to take the screenshot they will see and mark. For one mark. You are going to right click, then click on edit relationships. So you click on what? Edit relationships. Once you do that, this is the screenshot you take. Now, most of you ask me, they say, Gerald, I'm surprised. Why you did that? Before you click on create, why did you not take a screenshot? They will give you 0. Hey. I'm telling you as an examiner, they will give you, see, the way they will give it is, see,
Sorry.
the difference between the first screenshot and
Mr.
this
Ajiro.
is the create.
Hello.
Please let me finish, George. Please let me finish. Right?
No,
If you have
Asma,
any question, raise up your hand. Raise up your hand, please. Raise up your hand, right? I will call you. Right? Now, like I said the difference between the first screenshot and the second screenshot is the create. The moment they see that create, it simply means that you have not created the relationship. So it has to be after you have created it, not before. Because learners always mix this up. Yes, you have shown us the screenshot, but you showed us before you created, not after you have created. So the whole difference is the okay and the create. Yes, George. Please, if you have any question, raise up your hand. I will call you. I can see everybody. I will call you. Yes, George. George, are you there? I can hear you.
Yes. Where did you go to get to that place? Like you said, edit table. Mine is not showing edit table. I mean, edit relationship.
Right here, You can see where my cursor is.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
cursor,
okay, I've seen
the
it,
cursor
I've
have to
seen
be
it.
in the line. If in the line, you can edit the relationship. Or you can come here to what? Edit relationship. That's another way. Right? Either you do it on the line, or you go to relationship designs and click on edit relationship. So whichever one feel comfortable, like I said, there are so many steps. So whichever one feel comfortable for you, right, it's fine. Right? If the line is not working for you, then just click on relationship designs, click on edit relationships. Okay. So please, Kukoi, for the future, just please add that add it to part of the guidelines for the virtual classes. Anybody that has question can just raise up their hands and we'll call them, right? So they don't cause talk, right? So it's very important. Yes, George, your hand is raised up.
Oh, sorry, I don't have anything to say anymore.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take my screenshot now. Snipping to the rescue. Now I'm going to take my screenshot here. Right? And then I'll click on OK. And this is going to be what? Evidence 6. Now, if I paste this here, look at what I'm saying. It's going to go to the next one. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to click here where the cursor is blinking, hold my control and hit enter. Undo. I'll do it again. Whenever you have a limited space, okay, whenever you have a limited space, click at the beginning of the word, right? Hold your control and hit what? Enter to go to the next page. And then you can paste. Right click, keep source formatting, then paste. Right? Now I'm going to click on picture format. Then I can increase this to maybe 11. I think 11 is fine. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to save this. I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to close it. Now, by the time I open this, the trainee, which is correct, you discover that it's going to have a plus. Now, for each of the trainee, these are the results for each of the trainee, right? Or students. These are their results. Okay. Okay. Now I can close it. Now we are now gradually going to some parts. Now, this one talks about.
Sir, please, can you repeat that?
Now, what I'm thinking, I was just explaining something. I said, once you have created the relationship, it's going to show something like a plus. This shows that the table have now been linked. Now, you can see that this trainee has the records of the results. So I don't have to open the results. Unlike a flat relationship, unlike the flat database, that you have to open trainee and results. Now, I don't have to open results because I have all the information for each of the results for each of the trainee right here. And this is one of the beauty of relational database. Okay. Yeah. Yes, George.
The plus that is showing you is not showing for me. I don't understand.
On that trainee,
Like if I open trainee, don't wait. Okay, never mind. It just started showing. Thank you.
Okay. Now I want to explain this. Now, this is one of the things that this is another temptation. There are so many traps in database. This is another trap. This is where they get students all the time. Even teachers that come for interviews, they always, except the exceptional ones. Now, enter the following details as a new record in the training table. Now, observe something. Check your data entry for errors. They are expecting errors. But my God is bigger than them. We will not fall into errors. Because, see, the more you fall into errors, you're starting again. It's going to take you time to, you have to probably delete the relationship, start the relationship again, a lot of process. So you want to have, and it's 2 marks. You don't want to see when you encounter errors, you can spend a lot of minutes trying to solve errors that if you have just followed the process, you would have avoided. Okay, now, so enter the following at the new record in the training table. Now let's do this. I'm going to do copy and paste. I'm going to split my screen into 2, and I'm going to do this. In the training table, notice that it's going to fall in the training table. Now I'm going to split my screen. So I'm going to open the training table. Let me reduce it. So this is fine. Right? So now I want to explain this part. Okay, let me do this. It's fine. I want to explain this part. Right? Now, this means first record. I'm actually in the first record. This means next record. This means last record. This means creating a new record. Come again. This means last record. This means previous record. Now, I'm already on the first record, so there's no need for a previous record. If I move to the next record, then I can have a previous record. Makes sense, right? Yeah. This means the last record, and this means blank record. Please put this to heart. Now, this will show you records. How many records do we have? 499 records. These records are very, very important. Okay. Now, there are so many things we cannot do in our YouTube videos when we are presenting because of time. As much as we ignore a lot of things because we trust that the videos are a guide for your teachers and you to use, for your teachers to use to teach their students in various countries, and for the students also use to practice, that is to at a professional or intermediate level. Okay. All right. Now let's do this. So if I'm to enter into the new record, I'm going to click on what? On a blank record, which is a new record. So I'll click on this. Now, the moment you do this, please don't do anything else. Be very careful. You have created a relationship. Now, what is the criteria for primary keys? You cannot have what? A null value. What does a null value mean? The record must not be empty. Hey, I know what I'm saying. Please, the moment you are adding new records, have it in mind that your records it must not have what? A null value. That's the characteristics of a primary key. So this simply means that when you are entering the records, be very careful. Okay, be very careful. And this is what I want you to do. Okay, so the first one is family name. I'm going to copy this. Now you have your question paper, you can copy it. And then I'm going to paste it, Control V, paste. Now notice something. The moment I paste it, notice that the relationship was created. Let me do this. Can you see? Instantly, a relationship was created. And it simply means that whatever error you make here, you have issues though. So you have to be very careful. That's why You are working at the back end. You are a database. At this point in time, you are a database administrator. You have to be careful. When you are doing your Facebook, Snapchat, you are users. We call you computer users. You are not professionals. So whatever you are doing, you can put pictures, delete it, do this. It's the administrator that is now ensuring consistency in database. So you're not bothered with all those things. But now you are a database administrator, so you need to actually pay attention to this. Okay. Now the next one is first name, Lina. That's a nice name, Lina. Okay. So first name, I'm going to click on the first name, or use tab. You can use tab to go to the next. Tab on your keyboard, right? So I'm going to paste it, Ctrl V. I'm going to use tab on my keyboard to go to the next. Tab on my keyboard. I'll tap it. I'm going to tap on it. See that, right? I hit on tab on my keyboard to do that. I'm going to copy the next one. Ctrl V. Hit on tab. Copy the date. Now, in the exam case where you don't have this, when you are given a physical copy, type it the way it is. Right? Okay. Paste. Hit on tab. Obviously, Lina is a female. Ctrl V. Hit on tab. Wow, Lina is a software developer. All right. I'm going to paste this. Hit on tab. Copy. Now the records are already added. The moment you paste the last one, now this is what I want to explain. The moment you paste the last one, I want you guys to do me a favor. Do me a solid. On your keyboard, our keyboard, hit on the top. You know, we have the keyboard. We have top, bottom, left, right. So click on the top to go like this. See what I did? Now, if you click on bottom and you type anything, you must type a record for it. So be very careful not to encounter errors. Because when you are doing this, the record has already been added. The moment I paste the family name, it was added automatically. Okay, so these are the things you have to be very careful. Now, at this point, you're not going to have errors. I don't need to check because there's no errors. I ensure that the primary key is not empty. It's not in computer science, we call it, it's not a null constraint. What are constraints? Constraints are limitations that are placed on what? On the table. So it's not a null constraint. Null constraint checks to ensure that the table is not empty. We have other kinds of constraints as well, but that's computer science, that's not ICT, right? But you still need to know it. It's helping you. We're talking about database, obviously, so we can bring it in. It's not a crime, right? Okay. Now at this point, I can now, right? Now, this is the part. In fact, this is the whole of your mark. This is database. This is now the real database. This is where things get interesting. Okay, and also for those who are going to be listening in, watching, and as well, in the coming months, I'm going to start programming on my YouTube channel. So for those who have interest in programming, I'm going to start with Python. For those who have interest in programming, you want to learn some skills. It's coming up on my YouTube channel in the coming months. So anticipate for that. Okay. All right. So that was a quick commercial. So let's get back to what we are doing. Like I said, this is where it gets interesting. This is where we're like, oh, this is database. This is so nice. This is where it gets all what Kukoy have been saying in the introduction of the class. This is where we get to. This is where we get to apply them. This is this is the magic. Okay. All right. Using fields from the training table
I'm so
only.
sorry, sir. Sorry.
Okay.
Jesus.
Using fields from the training table only. Produce a tabular report. Okay. Produce a tabular report. Now, one of the errors of students is the fact that when they see this kind of question, the first thing on their mind is creating a report. Now, if you look at the question, it's not wrong. But creating a report will not get you the answer. The first thing you have to do when you are creating a report,
Mr. Ajiro.
Hello, George. I can see that your hand is raised up. We have a rule, right? We have a rule. I know your hand is raised up. Let me finish what I'm saying. Because talking is going to cut me what I'm saying. And then I'm going to miss, I'm going to miss passing that information. Please don't do that. I can see your hand is raised. I'm watching you here. Please ask your question.
You know the new one that we created?
What new one did we create?
The new family kidney.
Yeah, what happened to the family kidney?
Sir, it's not even showing. I pressed save and then I closed it and opened it back. It's not there.
How many records do you have?
Oh, I have 500, but it's not showing.
If you have 500, man. Kukoyi, what was the last record we had? The last record was what?
So what did you say?
What was the last record we had? Before we added that record. You said?
I'm confused.
Before we added that record, you can tell me what was the last record?
Are you there?
Yes, I can hear you, Kukoyi. It what? Who can help her?
I lost track at a point.
What is the last record? The last record number before we added the new record. What was the last record number?
CA0500.
The last record number was 499.
499. Sorry.
499.
Sorry, 499.
Adding 1, 499 plus 1, 500. Simple mathematics.
Yeah, but then I was just wondering why it wasn't showing.
Hello, man.
I'm
Now, the
confused.
moment
What are you guys talking about?
we're talking about the records that we added.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Now, we have just created a primary key. Automatically, it's going to sort your database. And that is why you are not seeing it. It's there. If you have time, maybe after this class, search for it with the names in the question paper. You are going to see it.
Okay.
Any other question? Because your hand is still raised up.
Oh, no.
Okay. Now, we're talking about how things get interesting from this point. Okay, now, so the first thing we do when we are producing a tabular report is to create a query. Now, what is a query? A query is an extraction of data from the database. You are extracting records from the database. That's what it is. When you hear the word, I am querying a database, you are simply fetching, extracting records from the database. That's what it is. If you're not convinced, the beauty of ICT is that you have the internet. You can check what I'm saying, if I'm saying the truth, if I'm lying. And I always tell students, always check what I'm saying. If this man is saying the truth or if this man is lying. my foreign students always tell me, sir, everything you say, we always verify and they are correct. I say, I encourage that. I want you to verify what I'm saying. Don't just take what the teacher is saying. That's how you know if your teacher is teaching the right thing or not. Okay, I always encourage that. Okay, all right. So now we're going to create a query. Now I'm going to dissect this paper, this question 20, into which is a query and which is a report. Now I'm going to use, what color should I use? Yellow for query and pink for report. Okay, 2 colors, right? All right, yellow for query and pink for report. So, agreed? Okay, so let's do that. Yellow for query and pink. So whenever I use yellow, you know that's query, and whenever I use pink, that's report. Okay, so that's the rule. So anytime we're having a class, yellow for query, pink for report. Please could remind me, right? So that's the rule. So whenever we see yellow, we know that's query. So, all right, so I'm going to use yellow. It is. Okay, thank you. Now, so this one is what? And this one is what? The one I just highlighted is what? And are you there? Okay, I think we are. Baba Folua, the one I highlighted is what?
Query.
Good. Now, the next one is okay. Now, report. Okay, you know what? Let's do the query first, right? I think that makes sense. Let's do the query first. Okay, so let's work on the query first. So notice I did 2 things. Now, usually in query, we have 3, right? But in this question, we have 2. So let's do this, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to close this. Okay? And then I'm going to click on create. Okay? Then I'm going to click on query wizard. And a query wizard is what? A step-by-step guide. That's what wizard is, a step-by-step guide that guides you through the process. I'm going to click on query wizard. A simple query wizard, just a simple one. Okay? Okay. Now, let's go back to this query. They said, using fields from the training table only. So whatever we are doing is what? On the training table. It's on the training table. Okay? Now, let's look at it. First name. Now, this means to move all of them. This means to move them one by one. To move all of them to selected field, to move them one by one to selected field. So first name, I'm going to click on first name. I'm going to move this. All right. The next one is what? Family name. Click this. I move this. Birth date.
Evening, Mr. Ajiro.
Yes. Please, Kukoi, just help me type the rules in the comments because most of them are just joining now. So they're aware of, just the last one, the last rule. The other ones is just the last rule. Okay, all right. Okay, so we have first name, we have family name, right? Then the next one is birth date. So I'm going to click on this and move the birth name to selected field, right? The next one is training job. So I'm going to click this and move it to training job. The next one is what? Training provider. So I'm right here. and I move this. So at the end of the day, we have how many fields? We have 5, right? Now they said show only. I'm going to use this only, right? Only. So it means that you're not showing everything. You're only showing first name, family name, birth date, training job, and what? Training provider. Okay. So now I've done that. I'm going to click on next. Now, what is the name? Name for the query. Name for the query. The name of the query is going to be the name for the report. Now, the reason why I always tell learners have the same name is the fact that it's easier for you to be able to differentiate other reports and queries that you'll be creating. Very important. So let's look for the title. Usually they give you the title. They always give you, not usually, they always give you the title. But the title is for the report. But of course, before you create a report, you create a query, right? We have established that in the class. So now we know. So we know that the title is the title for the report, but then again, you need the query to get the report. So, all right. So the next thing we're going to do is include only the text. Digital work program. Okay, digital work programs. Okay. We are having so much fun that the time for this class is 8, but now at this point, stopping here is going to give you guys nightmare because at least let's just finish this, right? So we know that we've been able to just create a report and you see how it looks like. Okay, so with that, that gives you a base. You can now say, okay, you know what? It's not actually that complicated as it seems. Okay. Now the next one is now just a quick one. I'm going to be around. I'm going to be around in the senior school from morning till lunch break. So anybody having a free period, okay, you have my attention, right? Okay. All right. Now, so we have this. So what's it? They said include only the text. Digital work program. So I'm going to copy this. Okay. I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to remove this. Now I'm holding my control and backspace. You just take it, just delete it word by word. If you just go on backspace, you delete it character by character. But if you hold your control, it's going to delete it word by word, right? Then I can paste, Ctrl V. And then I click finish, right? I click finish. So I have this. Now, this is the query. And by the way, we call them database objects. Yes. So query is part of the database object. Table is another database object. How cool is that? Okay. So I have this, right? Do I have to click here and do this? No, because I have done that in the table, in all the tables. So all the fields are shown. So obviously it's okay here. Now I have 500 records. Now, most of my students will be like, Mr. Ajiro, come on, give us some tips. You know, I know you know something that we don't know. Just tell us, just give us a hint, guide us. And I think that was what I did for year 11 last minute. You know, we do that last minute. Just we as teachers, we have that last minute shortcut, you know, that we give students, you know, so that they can just at least pass, at least just see something to just like, you know. So we do that. We have that, you know, last minute cards. Okay, so but I'm just going to give you one of them right now, right? Because you need it, right? So whenever you produce the report, you are producing 2 reports. One has 2 pages. The other one has just a single page. So at the end of the day, you're printing just 3 pages. Now, if your report is more than 2 pages, if you're having 4 pages, 5 pages, SAS, Ma, you are doing the wrong thing. You have to start the query again. Yes. So those are the ways, those are the things that will help. My code, my report is 10 pages. Jesus. So it simply means that you have to start the query again. Now that means that's a lot of process. So that is why you have to get it right in the query. Okay? Yeah. Now, it's time for the query. We have done one query, second query. Select the records where training provider includes the text digital. All right. I've taught you guys about wildcards, right? I think in year 10D, I use Anis. And in year 10A, I use Quiz Ibuku. And in 10B, who did I use? I can't remember what I used. Okay, in 10C, I used, I think I used Baba. Was it Baba I used? Or Samuel? I used Samuel, right? I used Samuel. Yes, I used Samuel because Samuel was just being naughty, right? So I used Samuel. So all this is that I'm doing that so that you can remember them easily, right? You can quickly remember them easily. Now include the text. So whenever I see something like digital, you're like, invariably you're like, okay, this means like is Anis or maybe Ibuku or maybe Samuel, So yeah, you get the idea. So training provider includes the text. So I'm just going to write it real quick. Okay, so I have includes the text. So this is the syntax for it. Asterisk, digital, asterisk. But when it begins with it, it's going to be digital, asterisk. And when it ends with it, asterisk, digital. But when it includes, it's like this. See? I think I need to teach that next time in my YouTube channel. This is actually easy for students to understand. So yeah, so this is one way you can understand it. So for example, I could have Microsoft Digital Apple. Okay, I'm just coming up with something, right? It could be Microsoft Digital Apple Music. So just coming up with something, right? That has digital. Then begin with this, it could be digital music. Okay, all right. And ending with this, it could be like Apple Digital. Okay, so you get the idea. So it must include, it must begin, it must end. Students always get this mixed up all the time. All right, so we have an idea of this. And can I delete this? Yes, I can. Okay, so let's do this. So I'm going to switch this to what? Design view. Now, the more you go to your design view, it's going to change. It's not going to be like the normal design view that you know it to be. It's going to be something different. And don't panic yet. Don't panic. Trust me, don't panic, right? You've been with me from the beginning, so stick with me on this. Now, I want to explain the whole of this, right? Most of you are seeing this on my slide, but then again, you're not seeing this in person. So you're like, okay. Okay, so I'm just going to cancel this, right? Now, I'm going to do this. Now, the first one is the field, which is what? The first name. We have the table. We have sort. Now, we usually do sort when we are doing extracts. Okay? But even when you're doing labels, you're doing the sorting at the label view. So it's fine. All right? So we have criteria. This is where we'll be running our criteria. You see show here? Show simply means these are the fields that will be visible. Okay, so I've explored that. Now I'm going to double click on this to see everything. You don't need to do it. Okay, you don't have to do it, but it's fine. Okay, so now they said what? Let's go back to the question. Training provider includes the text. So I have training provider. I have training provider feed here. So I'm going to click here, right? I'm going to type. I want you guys to see this. So I'm going to type asterisk. Now on that criteria.
So is it in criteria or?
Criteria. I just said criteria. Now I'm going to type digital. Asterisk. Another thing is you are running your criteria one at a time. I think at this point I just have to bring this. So let me do this. Show ribbon so you see it. Now at this point you're running your criteria one at a time. Yes, you are. Don't put all of them together and you're running them together. You're running them one at a time. Yes, Eniola.
So please, could you repeat the ribbon thing you just did?
Okay, just to make my ribbons to show. It's no biggie. Now, right here on your ribbon display, you click on always show ribbon, right? And you have it. So okay, so once you're done with this, you're going to click on run. And notice the numbers of records. From 500, it has been changed to what? 131. Yes, George.
So where did you see run? Is it that one that has an exclamation mark?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Now I'm going to go back to my design view again. Right? Birth date is in what? 2020.
So mine is still.
Pardon?
So mine is still showing 500. No 121.
Now, did you put it in the training provider? Is it under the training provider field?
I don't understand.
Is this under the training? It's supposed to be like this. Is this under the training provider feed?
Yes.
Now, did you use asterisk, digital asterisk?
Yes.
Is it under the role of the criteria?
Yes.
Run it.
So what do you mean run it?
Run. Click on run.
Okay, so it's working now.
All right. All right. So the next one is birth date is in 2003. The birth date. What that means is everything is in what? 2003. So that means DMY. Let's do the calculation. So it means that it should be what? On or before. It's in 2003 simply means that it's going to be between. Watch this. This is where mathematics. This is what, like I said, this is where the mathematics. Look at what they did though. They did birth date easy. You will now do the mathematics. That's why I said math is actually very important. Now, 2003. So we're going to do, let me use this. We're going to do between, okay, O1 slash O1 DMY, right? Slash 2003 and DMY, right? 31st slash 12 slash 2003. It's not your job to know who is in January, who is in February. Is in the birth date is in the trainee. You want to know their birth date. These trainees, these learners, these students. Let's say I want to give money, right, to students whose birth date is in 2003. So if your birth date is, if you were born in 2003, congratulations, you're entitled to my money. Now you might be watching this and you think, oh, this man wants to give you, I'm not giving you money, right? Okay, okay, but just to make a, you know, just to explain this, right? To give you an example of what I'm talking about. Now you see what I said. Now most of the time they will give you one thing and it's for you to figure out a lot of things. Okay, so we have that. So let's go ahead. Let's apply it. Can I delete this? Yes, I can. So now birth date is right here. So this is what I'm going to do. Between 01/01/2003 and 1/12/2003. Yes, Baba.
So for birth date, would it be wrong to put like, would it be wrong to put like 2003? Then it shows like all the stuff for 2003.
Look, do not put like. The like is generated by the SQL. Don't put like. Just do what don't do like. We always put like when we are doing. I will show you the SQL view of what I'm talking about. For computer science, use the SQL view. But like I said, this is not computer science. This is ICT. So I don't want to mix it up and make all your brain, oh my God, what is this? This man wants to kill us. No. Okay. For IGCSE computer science, use the SQL view, right, to run the codes. Okay. Okay, so we have this. Now, notice that it's going to be like this. Now, I'm going to drag this. So all of them can double click. You can double click if you want to. So all of them is straight. It's going to show this hash. Leave it like that. It's the SQL that is developing it to run the commands, right? Okay, so once we are done with this, I'm going to click on run. Now at this point, you can see that it's now what? 32 records. Let me show you. 32 what? Records. You can see that now. We have explained all this. Now let's go to the birth date. Can you see? All the birth date is in what? Is in 2003. All the birth date. They're in 2003. And that's what they want. Right? That is what they want.
So mine is not doing anything.
Now you have an error. Okay. Now usually in class that would have been easy, but this is online. Okay. Now what have you done wrong? Now under birth date, the B is in capital letter or small letter? Let's do this. Now, I'm going to put this up again. Don't put the hash. Okay, let me do this. You have to type
Don't
this.
worry, I'm putting the spelling of my digital was wrong.
Okay. Spelling of your digital. That's for training provider now.
I don't know, but it's working now.
Okay. All right. Now, just a quick one. Trust me, I'll be out from here, from this view in no time, right? I promise I'm not scratching your brain, right? Now, this is the SQL view for what we have done. For IGCSE computer science, this is what you are going to type. You are going to code this. But Access is so very intrinsic and very cool, right? That it helps you. Let me just copy this and go to my notepad, and then let's explore this a bit. And I'm going to, can I increase this? No. Let me just get Word. Let me explore this a bit. Now, these are the parts we don't show you in our videos. These are the parts we show you in class. I Control A, and I'm just going to do this. And I want to explain everything here. Now, let me do layout and landscape. Okay, now I want to explain this. Now, select, that's DML, right? Data manipulation language, which is database. Okay, it's part of the commands. Now, this is the table. This is the fields. This was IGCSE computer science, and I want to write the SQL view of this. I won't go through all this stress. It's going to be select, right, table from, or select the fields from the table where, right, the birth date, right, is between this and training provider is that, right? And there's a lot of parentheses in between. But now for IGCSE ICT, you don't have to concern yourself about this. A student shouted hallelujah. That was actually very funny. Okay, so that is the good thing about ICT. You don't have to worry yourself about this. Just type in the queries, the interpreter will just, or the compiler will just do the rest for you, right? Okay, don't save. Then I can change this view to what datasheet view, so it's fine. Like I said, I'm out from the earth. Okay, so now we're done with the query. That's one step. The next thing we're going to do now is to save it. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to what? Close it. Now, all what we have done will not give you any mark. It will give you nothing. All what we have done, I will give you nothing. It's like we have not even done the question. We have not done the question. We want to do the question now. But what we have done is what will not give us what we need to do now. That's database. That's why database is a little bit challenging and time-taking. And you have to be very, very smart about it. Now, let's handle the question now. Let's create the report. Let's go back to the question. Now, let's start from the beginning. So now we can now say, let's start. Now we want to start question 20. Using fields from the trainee table only, produce a tabular report. Now the question makes sense. Okay, so let's produce the report. Okay. Now, what are the reports? So we established the fact that yellow for query and Kukoi, which other color? I forgot it. Remind me. The other color is for
Green is for report.
okay, pink for report. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Pink. Okay, so from here is a report. One. Please pay attention to this. I'm going to do something right now, and don't panic. This is also a report. I know what I said. The first one was a query. But when you are creating a report, it becomes a report. You just have to know it. You just have to understand it. Okay. Yes, Joyce, talk to me.
So this is so confusing. Like, I understand but like, it's just the query and report parts that I don't get. Like you're
That
saying
is,
this
I understand. That is why I said usually database takes 3 weeks for training,
3
right?
weeks.
Yes, and the 3 weeks is what we don't have. Yeah, a standard database practice takes 1 month. The students is understand database 1 month, back to back. But then again, we don't have 3 weeks. We only have few days because next week is your practical exam. So we don't have any choice. You just have to learn it by fire by force. Okay, and some students are not even in class. You know, I wonder how they're going to do. You're waiting for when I'm going to come in class. Okay, so it's not easy. Look at how many hours have we taken? We started this class by 6. We have taken 2 hours, 34 minutes, and we are not still done with the question. So you cannot expect miracle in 55 minutes. It can't work. Your database in 5 minutes is not possible. Okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Hosted students weren't informed about this class. Okay, okay, now, amazing. Sincere apologies. But I think we, okay. I did not remember about the hosted students, right? I would have sent a message directly. I forget that the laptops are on schedule. I would have called to inform you guys about the class. Sincere apologies for that. Okay. Okay. Okay, Kukoi, let's do this, right? So each time we want to have a class on, especially Saturdays and Sundays, please always remind me about the hostel students. Okay. Maybe for the boys, they have that privilege of having access to their laptop, but for the girls, not always. So please remind me, okay? What about the girls hostels? Okay, so that I can just send the message to that. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. Now let's create the report. Now I'm going to click on create. I'm going to click on report wizard. Now, they said, this is where it gets really interesting. Using fields from the training table only. Don't do that. Okay. I know it's coming up, but that's what the question is saying, Mr. Ajiro. Yes, but don't do that. We have now converted this, which I want to use a color. Let me use green. Okay, green. We have now converted this, right, to okay. So it will now be using fields from the query. Produce a tabular report. I know it seems a little bit. Oh, my brain is going, Mr. Joe, you're killing me. I know, right? Now, what I'm simply saying is using field from the training table only has now been replaced with using field from the query called digital work programs, produce a tabular report. So, like I said, the question is not straightforward. And now, watch this. How many marks is this? This is 7 marks. And if you think you're done, you're not done. There's another query waiting for you, another report waiting for you. Okay. This is just the tip of the iceberg. This is baby stuff. The next thing you're going to do, you are calculating. The next question is calculation. Okay. So you need to understand how this works. Okay. You need to just understand how this works. Okay. We have done a lot, guys. And at this point, let's end the class. We'll continue this next. I want you guys to just cool off. Your brain is becoming overloaded because the next thing we're going to do, we have some things to talk about. Okay? We have some things to talk about in this question. Okay? So can we do this? Can we finish it up? Can we finish this question 20?
No, sir. I have to go to bed.
Okay, so let's end here, right? Dissect everything we've talked about today. It's recorded. I'm going to forward the recordings to you and then process it. And then next time in our online class, we're going to continue this. Okay, so we have something to continue in our online class. We'll continue this. Thank you very much. And thank you so much for being in class. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks, sir, for the class.
Thank you, sir, for the how many hours class? Like 5 hours.